shit right. Let's do this shit right for once. Hey everybody, this is Kevin in LA. So I actually already did this video last night, and it turned out that I liked it so much that I wanted to add to it. I really didn't think that I had done it justice with my first attempt. So let's see if this is any better. This might just suck, which is okay because I didn't erase it. I can still put the first one up. But I want to talk about Tucker Carlson, first and foremost, and then I want to talk about his ideas about the issue of whether or not conservative people on campus should be given the same kind of like protection as should conservative people be a protected class, let's say, all right? Like black people or gay people or to some extent religious people, but that's a whole nother thing, and that's going to be part of the argument. So, first of all, though, before I start, I just want to talk about Tucker. Because Tucker to me is like this fascinating guy. Like, I don't know how he got on TV. Like, who looked at this guy and said, this is what America wants to see. This is what America wants to be telling us how we should be. This is what you want. We want this guy to be the siphon through which we get our news, or we want him to be our, I don't even know. Maybe I can't even imagine what he is. He's just like basically a puppet. Oh, but that's the thing. So here's my thing about Tucker. He does such a good job being a puppet because to me he looks like a puppet. He literally to me looks like Pinocchio from the 1940s Disney cartoon. Like, he just has that look on his face, like he's just like this child he's like this thing that wants to be a real boy, but he doesn't know how, and he hasn't quite figured it out yet. So it's just, to me, that's what he looks like. And then on top of that, he does this thing, which I find just really aggravating, but whenever he's like talking to somebody and they're saying something like, well, you know, I mean, Tucker, you're right about all that about DACA, and like, but really, you know, maybe we should start thinking about like more than just like what the federal government should be in control of and some of this stuff. He just gets this look on his face like he's so perplexed that this person could be giving him this information. He like looks at people like they've got eggplants growing out of their ears, you know, and it's like, it's just great. I mean, this look that he gets is just, it just floors me. And it aggravates me. And I think he's a douche and a dick, and he's like ridiculous because he doesn't know. I mean, he's just like throwing all these talking points out there for Fox News. I mean, they could find somebody better. Why don't they find somebody like, you know, they've got, why don't they find somebody who like, you know, Brick Hard Cheese. I'm Brick Hard Cheese here with the news today. Like somebody like tough, you know, that you would want to believe. Not this little guy who looks like fucking Pinocchio from goddamn cartoon. I mean, they kind of had that with the Shep guy. But he jumped ship as far as like, he actually started like actually giving real news. So now everybody hates him. I would love whoever his lawyer is. That's the lawyer I want working for me if I ever get involved in any of this kind of shit, because he must have an airtight contract. He goes on there and just throws this shit out there that Fox News must be just like, why is he saying this? Because I can see all the people who respond to him, all the Fox News people being like, he's just off the rails. He's just a CNN blah blah blah. Like, he's the only guy over there who's actually telling the truth. And, like, they can't fire him for some reason. So, but Shep's got that look. Like, I hated him at first. He's got that look like, that sort of like, I'm so handsome. I can't even stand to be, you know, I can't even stand to be myself. I'm so handsome. But, like, and he had that kind of, like, sort of southern charm thing going that I really just detested at first. But now, as far as I'm concerned, he's, like, the best thing going on that channel. He's just he's fucking amazing. I got a lot of, I like, like Keith Olbermann and Rachel Maddow. Like, those guys are kind of like preaching to the choir, but he's fucking over there doing that stuff to like a very angry audience. And I gotta salute him and his news team for putting that shit out every night. I don't know what's going on with that. So anyway, all right, so that's my thing about those guys. Who's the other guys that are on there that I don't like? There's Sean Hannity, but I don't even want to talk about Sean Hannity because he's just a fucking bullet head. Like, he's just a fucking, he's like Fred Flintstone, except like not fun to look at. So I don't even care about him. And then there's those 3 douchebags in the morning, and those guys are just the worst. Those smug fucks. But, again, I don't really want to get into that. So I get into that in other videos and stuff like that. So anyway, so here we're going to talk about, okay, so the question is, and I don't mind that they're asking the question. It's just not that hard of a question to answer. So it's like why is it on TV and why is it like even an issue? The question is whether or not conservatives should be a protected class like black people or like gay people or like, people like that. And the answer is no. Okay, I'll see you guys later. See you in the funny papers. Because the answer is just no. I mean, it's very simple. Because a black person doesn't choose to be a black person. A gay person doesn't choose to be a gay person. A conservative person chooses to be an asshole conservative. That's just it. It's the same goddamn thing. Yeah, I mean, I could choose to be a comic book collector and then walk in and be like, why aren't comic book collectors a protected class? I mean, it's just like, think about it this way, okay? Think about it. All right, so it's like the 1950s in the South, right? You got that whole thing going on down there and everybody's like sweaty and hot and it's like the horrible South and it's like this like whole thing where like everything is just like boiling over because of like racial tensions and all that. And you got some black guy who sleeps with a white girl and they're going to lynch him. So they grab the guy and they take him and they bring him to the tree and everything like that. And they're like, we're going to lynch you. And they're like, boy, you know why we're going to lynch you? And he's like, no, I don't know. Why are you going to lynch me? And he's like, because you're black and you slept with a white girl. He's like, oh, is that why? Okay, no problem. And then he's like, boop. And then he's like, flips the switch, and he's a white guy. And he's like, see? No problem. No trouble at all. I'm sorry. I didn't realize that was why you thought I was, you thought it was a problem. I thought, okay. Big misunderstanding. We can all go home. And they're like, yeah, I guess we can. I mean, we can't hang a white guy. Yeah, I just read a bunch of books in college, and, I decided that I wanted to be black. And I didn't realize it was going to be a problem. I'm sorry. I'm not going to be black anymore. I mean, that's right. That's ridiculous. That's not what... But if you were a conservative and you're being chased down by the forces of socialism in this country, right? The socialist forces who want to, like, take you and put you in jail and do all this shit, right? And they like put a gun to your head and they're like, what? We have a question to ask you. And you're like, oh God, I could die if I don't get, oh my God. Do you think capitalism is cool? And you're like, no. No, I don't. I think socialism is cool. And they're like, okay, well, it looks like we got the wrong guy. I guess we'll just all go home. That's it. Easy out. And then the guy goes home, and for that 1 second, he believed it. He'd be like, little do they know, I still believe that capitalism is cool. But you can't, like, walk away from the situation being a black guy, like, little did they know that I'm actually still a black guy. I just turned white long enough for them to not lynch me. Do you understand what I'm saying here? Like, we're protecting these people because they need protection. You know, you conservative fuck faces don't need protection. You just need what? If you got a position, defend it. If you can't defend it, you're wrong. That's what it boils down to. Don't whine to me because you can't defend your position correctly. Don't whine to me because there are more people out there who think that you're an idiot than think that you're great. A lot of people out there think I'm an idiot. I'm not complaining about it. I'm not telling people that they have to like do something special for me. We just got to protect people who can't protect themselves because they can't help what they are. So that's it. All right. That's the end. I hope this was better than the first one I did. I think so. Maybe. All right. I love you, my birdies. I will see you in the funny papers.